Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ari, and on this channel of mine, I like to talk about my thoughts, feelings, and emotions and just share them with whoever chooses to watch my videos and relate to people, bond, connect with one another. So if you're not new here, thank you for watching and supporting me. Any positivity that is shown my way, whether it's a like, a view, a comment, positive thoughts, it is appreciated. So on this video or on this episode of my podcast, I want to talk about the feeling of just wanting to be left alone, the feeling of just wanting to be alone, the feeling of just wanting to detach from the people you're close to, or just like sometimes, and I'll just start the video by expressing this thought, like sometimes I just want to get away, do my own thing, be on like an island with all I need and just taking the scenery. And I know that to be completely alone as people, we need human interaction. So I I do appreciate having people that I am close to, it being family or even the couple friends that I can reach out to and still talk to. But the feeling of wanting to be alone sometimes, for me, it comes from just caring so much, where it gets too much for myself. And it could just be taking on other people's energies or taking on other people's feelings and emotions and their issues. And for me, I know that there's only so much I can do. So why bother thinking about it so much? But with the type of person I am, it can consume a lot of my feelings, my emotions, and my energies. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is just being closely related to family, like just being born into family. And whether, I guess it depends on how much you know about your family, or if your family is estranged, or even if you're not close to family. You could still wonder, you could still ask questions or inquire, or like question why things are. But it's like when you know so much about family and know what they've been through, and only you can only imagine the feelings that they express, or imagine the feelings that they might feel based off of the stuff that you know, that attachment can be felt very deeply. And I also feel like it is to each their own. Like some people don't care, like they just mind their own business, they care about themselves. But I've always been the type of person where I want someone to be okay, I want someone to be happy, even strangers. Like sometimes I see certain people, especially like older people or just like kids who remind me of how I was in school. And not everything is what it seems, but the type of person I am, I hope that they feel okay in life. I hope that they have something that they can come back to on their own time that brings them peace, joy, peace of mind, their own solitude. So when you feel so deeply, sometimes it can hurt because it's like there's only so much you can do. But also, I like when it comes to praying for people, some people wouldn't ever know that a stranger prays for them. So I do include people that I don't know within my prayers. But perhaps it's also just the thought exchange of, oh, I don't know this person, but I'm wishing them the best. Like it's definitely a positive to at least think that is true, because that is something you can do. Just wish someone well, even if you don't know them. And that's why I have a video on my channel called You Are Someone's Savior. Like you don't know how much like a smile can mean to someone, a compliment, or just acknowledging them. It can really go a long way, because as people, we do need that human interaction. And it is ironic because the objective of this video is when you just want to be alone. But sometimes I care so much that I feel like other people's issues are my issues, and it could be hard to separate. So because I know I can put up with it and handle it, it won't be until some time where I'm like feeling the effects of everything. And that's another thing with wanting a family in the future. I have like an ideal number of children I would like to have, but a person is a big thing, especially a child, of course. But just people being like, you could do your best, you could be the quote unquote near perfect parent, but you are not them. So you don't, like, you could do everything that is considered right to love and care for someone, but someone will have their own feelings, they'll have their own thought processes, and you would just only hope for the best and that it's positive. So just the weight on that, and like just like I would want, and not just my future children, but like my family, my friends, like you just want people to be okay in life and feel good about themselves. So I can understand, like, it's the take on, oh, a person doesn't want children, why not? Like, imagine when you're older. You see the pros and cons, but at the same time I can understand, because sometimes it's just a lot in itself to worry about yourself. Like, taking care of yourself as a human, that could be a lot. So imagine the emotional the emotional space for someone as close to you as a child. So that, even that can be a lot. So that helped me understand, just that way of thinking helped me understand, like, to each their own, do what you want to do, it doesn't affect me. But I can understand why some people don't want children. But then we associate, and family can very well be a main form, a main source of our love. But once again, the experiences are different for everyone, because some friends are closer to you than family, or there are some people who wouldn't hurt you like people close to you biologically have hurt you. And I'm referring to my notes, so that's why I'm looking down. But that just goes into the concept or the topic of this video, or the thought, is it better to be, not better to be estranged, but it's like, for me, sometimes I think about my connections with my distant family, and it's like, oh, we're family, but how come we're just, how come I don't know this person still? But then I feel like there still holds a part of empty space in my life where it's empty, and I'm like, should that space be filled? And I know that there's always time to work on relationships and connections, but sometimes I just get, it's like, okay, this is a big part of someone else's life, or they have a different relationship than I do with their second cousins, or like, what, this is just an example. Should it be the same for me? But that's the thing, like, even the closest families that have holiday parties, or that, like, big families, small families, we all have things that are baggage, or things that are considered skeletons in the closet. So not every, like, nothing is perfect, and not everything is what it seems. But that also leads me to the thought, what if we were all just naturally, like, we come into this world on our own, but it's like, what if the meaning and concept of family was different? because it is interesting, and I don't want to like go off a track, but I do believe in like star seeds and your star family, and I kind of put this together for myself recently, but it's like, how do we decide? Or it's interesting to think about our own personalities, and we grow up with like our siblings or our parents, and we're all assigned like together. And this oracle deck I have, it just explains like your star cluster or something like that, but basically in the sky we were all together, so that helps me understand it better. But like, just the concept of family related by blood and genetics, what if we were all naturally detached without the association of genetically or biologically related? Because some people feel like their generational wounds carry and they transfer, or, and that's where you could see people's pain and issues when they're like, oh, my family is living through me, or my family doesn't accept me, when in the end it's their life, you know? So what if we were all just not related to anyone and we were just our own person? So yeah, that's another thought that I had while thinking about everything. But all in all, like, when I feel like I just want to be alone and just be left alone, and when I feel like I want to be left alone, it's like I just want to be, it's like that feeling of moving to a different town, changing your number, knowing you could still, like, in this case, like, knowing that you could still like go home and like you're like still keeping up with your family, like sending postcards and stuff, but it's like going to a new place and just being someone that nobody knows. Because that's another thing, like, over time and over social interactions and just within different environments, sometimes you feel like people think they know you, but they don't know you. You only know yourself. But that is basically the topic of today's video that I want to talk about. As always, thank you for watching and the support, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye.